Yo, what is up? We are back. It's another episode, Hoops and Brews. This is episode, what is this, 256, I think it is. The live version is blocking the thing, so I can't exactly see, but I think it's episode 256 of Hoops and Brews. Um, Joe, how you feeling, bro?
I'm solid, man. I feel real good. I'm excited to talk about the couple the Northwest, right? Or is it Southwest?
Northwest Division.
Yeah, Northwest Division. Excited to talk about that. Draymond and whatnot. We got the homie about to come on. Season ticket Nuggets holder. My homie for about we've been talking since about like 2012. So let's get it. I'm excited.
Facts. Before we start, I do want to say this. I have a song called Everything to Me coming out at 9 p.m. So like in like 4 hours, actually in like 3 hours, 30 minutes. I think my time it is right. No, whatever. It's coming out in 4 hours. Make sure you go ahead and go to my Spotify page, to my Apple Music page, and check out Everything to Me. And if you came to my show, thank you. I appreciate it if you're watching this, and I hope you have fun. But you were speaking on the guest. Let's bring on your guest. This is the homie Batch. What's up, bro? How you feeling?
I'm good, bro. How you guys doing?
I'm good, man.
I appreciate you guys having me on.
Of course, man.
Bro.
All right, so obviously the huge news this week. I guess we're a little late to it, but I guess we're not really late to it because it's gonna be the news for the next damn near the whole season. Draymond Green decided to go Mike Tyson. First of all, before we go into any analysis, can we talk about this punch? Me and have had ample discussions on this punch for the past couple of days. That was one of the hardest. I haven't seen somebody get hit that hard at least in like 5 years, bro.
Poole got dropped,
He
bro.
stuck him, G.
He got dropped, bro.
I ain't seen nobody get hit that hard in years, bro.
You ain't gotta hit nobody that hard. Like ain't nothing he could have did to justify that. Like whenever we get the real story, I highly doubt whatever it was. That ain't justifiable.
The crazy thing is on video, bro. So everywhere he go, bro, is like everybody like, damn, that's the first thing people gonna think about. Like the first thing I'm gonna think about. If I ever see Poole, I'm like, if I ever see him in person, I'm like, bro, damn,
his whole life has changed forever.
Everybody's seen that shit.
I played high years competitive basketball. I've seen niggas get punched in practice, but ain't nothing never had looked like that.
Yeah.
I've seen that happen before, man. It never was that hard, G.
Yeah, like I've seen people squabble people, you know what I'm saying, wrestle a little bit, push people, getting people faces, even maybe a couple blows get thrown. See, boxers who get knocked out don't get hit that hard. Tyson Fury didn't hit Deontay Wilder that hard, G.
And it's Draymond Green. You're supposed to be the 10-year vet NBA champion. You walk around with your chest up high like you so upstanding and you set examples and you lead the way and all this. And he talked about on his podcast how he because apparently Poole is known for having a big mouth, like unbidden, able to get under people's skin. He was literally on his podcast. He said they were coming to him, telling him to tell Poole to relax. He told them like, "Yo, if you can't control him, then you gotta. That's on you." It's just a very disappointing move from Draymond. He got to be able to control himself. Dude. That's some real bozo, like just unbelievable activity.
Yeah,
you got to be able to control yourself.
Draymond's definitely wrong for that, man.
He needs to be punished. At least I say maybe a minimum 3-week no suspension, no pay. I mean, I doubt they do all that, but. It needs to be something around that realm. He needs to be in the room. He needs to be in the dark room thinking about this by himself, thinking about how stupid it was and whatnot for a very long time. We don't need to hear from him because that's just inexcusable. At the professional level, you just won a championship. You're Draymond Green. You can't be doing stuff like that. End of story.
All right, well, I mean, obviously for like the Warriors, I mean, do you think this has one huge impact on their season? What do you think? You kind of spoke on it a little bit. How do you think they should handle this situation? What do you think is next for Jordan Poole? What do you think is next for Draymond Green? I mean, obviously, I think the one thing that's kind of looming over this whole situation is money and contracts. We all know Draymond Green. This will be his last year before his player option next year. Nobody ever really plays on a player option. Reason being is because it's too risky. Obviously, unless you're Kyrie, like you couldn't get no deals because everybody's like, we don't think you want to play basketball no more. Nobody ever plays like a 1-year player option. So this would be the year to extend Draymond Green. Obviously, the Warriors have $250 million tied up in Steph. Klay Thompson, who on the lowest of keys has one of the top 10 worst contracts in basketball right now. To be honest with you, he's getting paid $190 million. Wiggins is getting paid $150. I think that's coming up as well. Poole got to get some money, and Draymond. They can't pay everybody.
Yeah, Poole gonna get $150.
They can't pay everybody, and Draymond's max is larger than Poole's because of Bird years and everything else.
Yeah.
Draymond can get like $200 million. Obviously, I don't think they want to give Draymond Green $200 million. I don't think you can rationalize. I think for that team, Draymond would be worth the money, but you can't rationalize giving somebody $200 million and then looking at their stat sheet and seeing they had 9 points, bro. You can't unless you really go bare and you win in defensive player of the year every single year, and it's like, all right, okay, whatever. Other than that, it's very hard to rationalize giving somebody who in 10, 7, and 5 $200 million. Even though I do think for the Warriors, he is if Steph is right here for what he's mentioned them, Draymond is right here for what he's mentioned them throughout that whole run. But what do you think? How much do you think this affects the Warriors? Do you think it even matters? Obviously Shaq and Kobe hate each other. They won championships. Do you think it even really matters as far as long term, as far as winning? And what do you think happens to Draymond Green?
I think it matters a lot, and I think suspending him 3 weeks or a month might not seem like it's that long, but you suspend him for that long, and you see how the Warriors look within that time period, and you kind of get a glimpse of the Warriors don't play for a whole. They don't. They suspend him for a whole month, and they still balling. Instead, they come out like 13-4 without Draymond. I really think you might want to throw Draymond in the trade machine if you can. I know it's a small sample size, 18, 14, 15 games, however it might be if it's just a month. But I mean, you look. The Warriors are a veteran team, and if they can show you that they can win for the first month or so without him, I think you might have to throw him into the trade machine and get this out the way. Long term, they should be all right. We'll see what they can. Draymond is still an asset. Defensive Player of the Year candidate every year. I think he was top 3 last year. He has won the award once. I think he should have more than that. As big of a piece as Draymond is and all the intangibles, the one that he brings to that roster, I just feel like it might be time. I know every dynasty comes to an end somehow, but the Warriors are still very talented. You waiting on a couple guys to leave. You see what a Kuminga can look like in a 4 role. You pick up Jermichael Green, he's a 4. You have Wiggins, you might want to give him more of a playmaking responsibility. You got James Wiseman, who's had a couple of really good preseason games. You see what they look like. You see what the team looks like without him. Poole just got dropped after getting knocked out. Poole dropped a smooth 25 on the Lakers a couple of nights ago in the preseason. So you just see.
For saying that.
I was very surprised to see him perform that well. I don't know, maybe I'm reaching, but I don't. He came out there perform like maybe we are overreacting a little bit to it. If he can come out there and still perform that way after this situation, even though it's just preseason, I think that speaks volumes. But you just see what this team can look like for a month without Draymond, and everything is still they're still the Warriors. They're still a top 3 seed, top 2 seed. Steph is looking like Steph, and everything is flowing. I think you just might have to throw Draymond into the trade machine. And I want to say this. People want to think I'm gonna make you mad, but I mean, throw him to the Lakers. I don't know what we're gonna give y'all, but LeBron, AD, Draymond, best defensive.
You gotta stop doing this, Joe. You gotta stop doing this, Joe.
There's no possible way he can get to the Lakers. Like
everybody knows him.
Unless you trade Russ, but
multiple people not Trae Young. Multiple people have came out and said they know he damn near came out himself and said he wanted to be there. But I'm sorry, I just had to, it was on my mind. I had to see it. But that's pretty much how I feel about the situation. I think you roll out there without him and you see what happens. And if you still look good, throw him in the trade machine. If not, I'm pretty sure they could also get over it. But that's how I feel about the situation.
Patch.
I'm gonna agree with you, Joe. One key for me is Kuminga. We gotta because that would be the guy that ultimately replaced Draymond. We gotta see how he hoops. Because I think he's gonna be in the starting lineup without Draymond. If Draymond doesn't play,
I don't think they're going to start Kuminga. Really? I don't think they're going to start Kuminga.
He started against the Lakers last game in the preseason. So yeah. So I mean, he's still learning, but the key's him. He makes Draymond expandable. So if he can hoop and if he can show that he's grown and learned, he makes Draymond expandable. And if he does that, they gotta start looking for what they can get out there for Draymond, and go from there.
I don't think Kuminga makes Draymond expendable.
You don't think so?
No. I think what Draymond brings to this team can't really be measured in just stats. Like again, I've said this many times in this podcast. As much as Steph was going off in Game 4 in the finals, I still think Draymond made the biggest play of the game. That was the offensive rebound. I think it was the pass salute. I've said this many times.
That's true.
I feel you.
But like this, it's like Draymond may be terrible for 46 minutes, but those 2 minutes you need him to show up and do something, Draymond would do. Like and also we can't forget 2016. If they win that game, Draymond's finals MVP.
You said 2016.
If they win that game, Draymond's finals MVP.
Game 7.
If they win, yes. If they he had 32, 15, and 7.
That was the fakest 32, 15, and 7 game.
He had it though. He had it though.
After
But look,
game 5, he still gets that. All right,
listen. I think Draymond's one of the more unique players that we've seen in this league. You can find Jordan Poole. I think Jordan Poole is from the Jamal Crawford tree. Now, obviously, Jamal Crawford played a very long time. Jamal Crawford scored 20,000 points in the NBA. I'm just saying, I think you can find another one. All that, being said, I do think this is probably the beginning of the end with Draymond with the Warriors for all the reasons I said earlier. You just cannot rationalize. You can't even, like, for instance, right, Klay. Even if Klay never returns to being what Klay Thompson was, you can rationalize giving Klay a max deal. One, he's gonna sell jerseys. Also, the branding with the Splash Bros. Like you can rationalize all of this. And also Klay is exciting. If he go out there and hit 10 threes in a game, that's exciting. That sells seats. That sells seats. Draymond Green is not putting nobody in the seats. There's very few people coming to the game to watch Draymond Green play basketball. I might come to the game and watch Draymond Green play basketball. Yeah. I like people who play defense. I'm a basketball nerd. But most people who cut on the Warriors are not there to watch Draymond Green play basketball. Jordan Poole will put people in the seats. He hit a couple half-court shots. I want to go see that. So I just think that I think on the court he's valuable, but I just don't think that you can sell to the fan base giving him as much money as he will probably command there. And I don't think he'll take a pay cut. I don't think Poole would take a pay cut. And I don't think Poole should take. I don't think either one of them should look to take a pay cut. It's not my job that's y'all job to figure out how to get everybody the right money. It's not my job to figure it out for y'all. That's y'all job. So yes, I do think that this could be the beginning of the end. And actually, as we move on, if I'm not mistaken, Bash, you are a Denver Nuggets season ticket holder.
Yes, sir.
I did see a trade that I think it was JP Maples on Twitter put up.
I seen some. I seen that.
Now. Denver Nuggets season preview. I have the trade. Let's say you want to trade Draymond Green, because
you better not say PJ.
No. Draymond Green, the second round pick from the Hornets in 2025 for Aaron Gordon and Campazzo.
We don't got Campazzo.
Y'all not got Campazzo no more?
No, it's actually Mavericks about to sign him. I just seen him like 20 minutes ago.
Okay, for Aaron Gordon and pick somebody because y'all have Monte Morris trade.
I mean, Campazzo's salary. You got Ish Smith, so they would have to take Ish Smith back. Look. I don't even know. I think you could honestly do Aaron Gordon. You might be able to do a straight up reason because they have, I think, a $9 million trade exception. Yeah, we got the exception. We got an $8 million exception. You're right. You got the exception. So we could fit Aaron Gordon. I think they had actually like 2 exceptions. Actually, I think they have like 3 of them. I think it's like one for $2 million and then one for $8 million. That was Monte Morris and Aaron Gordon. I think 17. I think Draymond is at 24 or it's like 26 or something like that. 25, I think.
Yeah, so you could actually make it work almost straight up.
You could.
And here's my thing with the Denver Nuggets, right? I think they can beat most of the teams in the West. I even think if they played the Clippers, I like their chances against the Clippers because
we match up with the Clippers well.
They match up well, and I still don't think the Clippers have an answer for Jokic. I don't think Zubac is an answer for Jokic. And if you go small against Jokic, I don't think they have the ability to run high screen and roll enough and punish them the way that the Warriors could with Steph. Like obviously you put Jokic in space against Steph up there. It's like, what do you really? And I mean, you even saw Jordan. Jordan Poole is gonna walk in and play the compilation from that series, and that's gonna be why he get all that money. He gonna walk in to the compilation from that series, and that's gonna be
generational wealth. Jokic created generational wealth.
You gotta remember that series though. Jordan Poole started. Steph Curry's coming off the bench. Jordan Poole was playing with the bench. I mean, with the starters, like the Warriors starters. So Jordan Poole looked really good playing with the starters that series. While Steph was coming off the bench, which is kind of like okay. Then now you have Steph coming off the bench. When Jordan Poole would go play with the bench unit, Jordan Poole didn't really look good with the bench unit. But when he played with the starters, he looked really, really good. That's where he was scoring most of his points with that starting group. Because when they Jordan Poole went back to the bench, what game was it? Game 5, game 4, game 5?
Yeah.
He was normal. So he wasn't scoring 30 like he was the first 3 or 4 games. So.
And I think the main issue with the Nuggets throughout these years, and the reason why I think it's holding them back from probably being a championship team is I think with as good as Jokic, as all-time good as Jokic is offensively, I just think what he lacks on defense, you have to put a supreme elite, I could possibly win defense player of the year person next to him at the 4 spot. I think you need to upgrade over Aaron Gordon. That's the only thing I think every year that is probably holding the Denver Nuggets back. I think it's defense and the fact that you need to upgrade over Aaron Gordon somehow.
So my argument to that is the things Aaron Gordon can bring that does with the Nuggets that Draymond can't do. And you got if you think about what 3 years ago when the first year Jokic and the Nuggets went to the playoffs, they played the first series they played was a Spurs. We took them game 7. We won game 7. We went to game 7 against the Blazers. We lost that one. I think we should have won that one. We was up 17, but that's a different conversation. But we had Paul Millsap as our fourth, and Paul Millsap was a really great defender. We were one game away from going to the Western Conference Finals that year. Next year it goes to the bubble. We went to the Western Conference Finals with Paul Millsap as the fourth. Paul Millsap Aaron Gordon's a huge upgrade over Paul Millsap in my opinion. This is the thing Aaron Gordon can do. You can't leave him open. He's not a elite 3-point shooter. He shoots 35, 36%. So you can leave him open, but if you leave him open,
can't leave him open as strong.
That's what I'm saying. So if he's in the corner, and he's open, I want Aaron Gordon to shoot that shot. You know what I'm saying? I still want him to shoot that shot. And Aaron Gordon, with that Jokic pick and roll that Aaron Gordon does with that creates that vertical spacing. And Aaron Gordon, they got sets where Aaron Gordon pops to, and I'm comfortable with Aaron Gordon taking that shot.
Hell of a lob threat, of course.
He's an hell of a lob threat. And Aaron Gordon, you could throw the ball to him in the post, and he can create a shot for himself and get a bucket. So I just think, and Aaron Gordon is a great, for what we'll need, he's the great body for us against Luka, against the Kawhis, the Paul George. He'll be great for us.
He did. We also got to talk about the fucking bubble run when fucking Kawhi was disappearing because Aaron was doing a damn number on that man. We also got to talk about that shit too.
That was Jeremy Grant.
Jeremy Grant. You're right.
And Aaron Gordon to me is better than Jeremy Grant too. For what the Nuggets do, Aaron Gordon is I think perfect for what the Nuggets do. Better than Jeremy Grant because Jeremy Grant wasn't a terrific. He wasn't a rebounder. Aaron Gordon's a really good rebounder. But I just think what Aaron Gordon can do offensively, Draymond's obviously a better defender, but I think he can for what we knew, he can do that defensively for the Nuggets on the perimeter.
Now, here is the one thing that I will give you credit for, and I will even why I think you need to at least see this Nuggets team hopefully healthy as they are this year. Well, as we assume that they will be this year. For one, I do think everybody obviously was asked to do entirely too much last year because you're missing Michael Porter Jr. and you are missing Jamal Murray. You're missing basically 40 points a game. Jamal Murray is at 20. You think if Michael Porter Jr. is healthy, he's at 22. You're missing 40 points basically per game. So everybody is happy to do more. I also love the upgrade of adding KCP. KCP is, I don't want to say a knockdown shooter, but he's a good shooter. He's also a really good perimeter shooter.
He's a good for Jokic too. He's a good He's a good cutter. Plays all ball. He's good all that stuff.
We're talking about the Jordan Poole thing. I think Bones Highland has the potential to be a Jordan Poole-like type of guy off the bench. I think he's another guy who has the potential to come in and be electric. Another one of the, Jamal Crawford type school of people. So I would love to see this Nuggets roster as it is. I just think that and again, I think they can beat everybody else, but I just think them beating the Warriors strictly because of what Steph can do to Jokic. They can put Jokic in the high screen and roll, and what Poole can do, I think, is just too much for Jokic to do. Even though I do think Jokic has stepped up defensively after losing some weight. I think he is better than what he used to be. But so go ahead.
The thing about Jokic, he's not going to anchor a defense. That's not what he does. He's a good team defender. So if everybody on the team does their job, that's when Jokic he's not going to look like a bad defender. But what we did, we added like you said, we added KCP. I think we match up pretty well with everybody but the Warriors. But to offset that, we did get KCP. We got Bruce Brown, who's a hell of a defender. I was at Ball Arena yesterday. They playing the Suns. He was giving Devin Booker work, bro. Like Devin Booker shot 5 for 17, and he was just hounding him. He's an excellent defender. So we can put lineups against the Warriors. We can put lineups like Jamal Murray, KCP, Bruce Brown, Aaron Gordon, and Jokic out there. We can put lineups like out there to offset their guard play. So we would have to see how that looked, but we did upgrade our point attack defense. we got Davon Reed, who's a pretty good defender on the wing. So I mean, we upgraded defensively from last year. Monte's a great player. Will Barton, I like Will Barton. I like those guys. I vouch for them. They just could not guard. They just could not guard on ball. And when the Jokic pick and roll, they just couldn't recover, and Jokic was always on the island. So with Bruce Brown and KCP, Davon Reed, hopefully it'd be harder for them to score on, and just them recovering easier, than Monte and Will did. So,
Joe, what do you think about the Denver Nuggets this season? And what do you think their potential is this year?
Well, pretty much the Nuggets. I think they should have high expectations going into this next season. If you look at last year, I'll look some numbers. Their biggest issue was when Jokic went to the bench. When Jokic went to the bench, they had like a -10 net rating, and shit just went to hell. I'm pretty sure Batsio vouched for that. Team's probably going big runs once he went to the bench. And this year, it wasn't really the management's fault. Last year, obviously, it was injuries, and this year you bring back two second and third best players in MPJ and Jamal Murray, and that helps a ton. So I think they should have championship or bust type vibes in Denver. Hell of a team from front to back. They also pretty much ever since Jokic became a first-team All-NBA player, Nuggets have never been a defensive team. And to what Batch said, they went out this offseason and they corrected that. They grabbed one of my favorite ever Laker role players, probably a top 10 Laker role player for me, KCP. Like you said, you got Bruce Brown, who's played in a bunch of very big games over the past couple of years with the Nets. He's been ahead of it, playing out the pick and roll with Durant and whatnot. He's seasoned for these moments. Him and KCP, two seasoned wings that you need in this league that can spread the floor and play make a little bit. Not KCP, but Brown. We've seen him work out the pick and roll and come down and find shooters. And you do those things, and I think that you put yourself in position to compete. The Nuggets would be dangerous next season. They fix their holes. Jokic could possibly have another MVP season. Like if they do come out there, I think this team, if they stay healthy and Michael Porter Jr. gets his legs under him, Jamal Murray, I know they're going to come out there a little slow. And probably Michael Porter Jr. too. The guys eventually get their legs under them, and Bones Highland takes that leap into that Poole, Anthony Simons level of play. This team could really be dangerous next year. So I got high expectations for the Nuggets. I think they should. I'll put them at least 55 wins, but I think they could maybe even get to 60. I'm not going to hold you. That's the ceiling for them. Somehow, for whatever reason, things don't work out. I don't think they should get anything less than – they won 48 last year on a roster that was obviously shot at, like, there's a depleted roster is the word for it. So this year I expect the sky's the limit. If they can get their chemistry going, the guys can get their legs back under them, this could be a very, very dangerous team. Hungry Jokic. So, yeah, I'd say the ceiling is around 60 wins. They should get around at least 55, though, depending on how everything plays out. I like the system. They still got the atmosphere advantage and the altitude out there in Denver. They still play fast. It's just high expectations for Denver. But what's up?
Now, I was gonna say, the last time the Nuggets were obviously healthy when we had Jamal and everything, they made the Western Conference Finals in the bubble. 2018-2019 season, they won 54. Next season, which is they got the second seed, 2018-2019. The season after that, they got the third seed, and then the season after, or the Jamal's last season that he played was the third seed as well. So I just think the Nuggets have shown they've shown that they can be a top 3 seed already, and I think our roster is even better. This is probably the best roster that Jokic for his skill set that we've ever had. So it is a big season. Obviously we got the health concerns of MPJ and Jamal. We got to see they're going to get eased into it, so they're not going to be playing back to back. They're going to be playing tons of minutes, so they're going to be on minutes restriction. But I think we can. I think we can definitely be a top 3 seed because we've shown it consistently healthy the last few years. So.
Yep. Yeah. Malone also has his work cut out for him. Mike Malone, I know he's probably one of the best coaches in the league. So he has his work cut out for him this year. Malone is going to have to really get down to a T with the rotations they're going to be this year, because I think you might want to close lineups for you. You guys are going to be very interesting because if Michael Porter Jr. is not sliding his feet out there, you might want to close with Bruce Brown instead of him.
No, I totally agree. But
things like that.
Mm-hmm. Well, me personally, Malone got a microscope with me. Like he got to show me this year, man. He got.
You're not a believer.
But I like Malone. He's always like the way he talks to media. It's like we don't have this type of player. We don't have this type of player. You got your players now, bro. Like this is. He said beginning of training camp. He was like. He got his players, bro. He said this. He expects a top fighter, and he's a defensive coach. He got hired as a defensive coach. He got his players, so he's gonna be under the microscope for me, man, because he did a lot of talking. So we gonna see, but we do have lineup flexibilities that he can put out. We can put an offensive lineup with with Murray, Bones, MPJ, AG, Jokic. You can put a defensive lineup where MPJ's out. So we have versatility this year.
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree with anything y'all saying. I mean, I think last time Nuggets were healthy, I think I picked them to win the West actually.
Yeah, that was a bubble. That was a bubble. Yeah. I remember that episode. I watched it.
I think I remember saying that. Yeah, I think the Lakers have the quote unquote best team, but I thought the Nuggets would be a team that could come
I remember that episode. You picked us against the Clippers, so.
Yeah, like I thought come on win the West. So yeah, I'm with you. I think they should have high expectations. I mean, obviously Jokic is at this point in time, when you talk about offensive centers,
top 3 player in the league right now, without a doubt.
I'm talking about all time. I'm talking about when we talk about offense. Obviously, like Shaq has to be up there, Wilt Chamberlain. After that, Kareem has to be up there. But he's in that same realm of guys. Like when you talk about all-time great offensive talents at the center position. Like I said, my only thing of worry is the 4th spot. I just think that with Jokic, like in order to win with I don't think, again, you said it was a great team defender. No, not great, but a good team defender. I agree. But I do think he can still be taken advantage of. So like if you look at a thing, I still think he can be taken advantage of. And
I agree.
So I just think that sometimes when you have a player like that, you need an all-world level of a talent next to him who does the opposite thing. And granted, like I said, Aaron Gordon, I think Aaron Gordon is a guy who maybe could be second team on defense. We have to see it. Obviously, last year was not the year to judge anybody on the Nuggets because everybody was playing one spot too high up. Yep. Aaron Gordon averaged 15 points this year.
Yeah, he was our second leading scorer with 15.
Literally, second leading scorer. This year, I expect Aaron Gordon to average 11. So, 11. So, I expect him to have more energy for other parts of the game. I was going to say even Jokic. I think, yes, Jokic can average, 27, whatever. But I think peak Jokic is like 23, 15, and 8.
No, I agree because especially with MPJ on the roster, he puts on every shot he takes. He puts on every shot that touches his hand. But
I think peak Jokic is even like a little bit down more. So I think everybody had to do a little bit too much. So I would like to see, hopefully we get a full healthy year of the Denver Nuggets and actually see what they can become. But like I said, I don't think there's any team out there I look at like, damn, y'all can't beat them outside of maybe the Warriors. And even the Warriors, it's still because even if you go back and look at that series, it wasn't like they just got creased every game.
The games after games 2, games 3, 4, and 5, the Nuggets were up. In games 3 and 5. The Nuggets were up 10 going into the 4th quarter. It was a close series after 3, 4, and 5. It was close games every game. The first two games they came out and jumped us, but 3, 4, 5 it was a close game every game. So it was like what hurt us, I think, is what Steph Curry come off the bench. Steph Curry is playing against the bench unit every game. Bro. That shit.
I think his net rating that series was crazy. And also again, you had like Monte Morris had to be like a primary scorer at one point. Like it's like you had guys doing things that like I think, and also Will Barton was hurt as Will Barton has been hurt at a lot of moments. I love
Will Barton. His body's fell in the last couple of years because Will Barton was a good defender, but he just don't got the athleticism anymore, man. His body's failing him, so that's why the upgrade at KCP was needed.
For sure. So I'm with Joe. I think my win prediction would probably be about 55. I think again, if they were going to be healthy from day one, I could say that they could win the West, but I don't think, obviously, like I said, they're going to ease Murray into it. They're going to ease Porter into it also. I just don't even know if a healthy Michael Porter season is something that we will actually see, like a full healthy Michael Porter season.
Michael, he was healthy for 2 years in a row, bro. 2 years. So he missed his first year. He was healthy for 2 years in a row. And he didn't miss any games. He missed the only games he missed was due to COVID. He didn't miss any games. Last year, the first time. That's why they gave him that contract because we haven't seen no one in Denver has seen signs of Michael Porter getting hurt. So that's why he got the contract. Then last season he went down after 9 games, and he actually said he was hurt the whole time during preseason. Didn't say nothing to nobody, and he got it. He made it work. So, but he's shown us he played healthy the whole year. Like and he said in his media day that they asked him that coaches want you to rest games. He's like, nah, if I'm healthy to play, I'm going to play. So he said he wants to play all 82. So we'll see.
Look, we'll see. I think we can leave it there for the Denver Nuggets. Next, I want to talk about a team who basically is the Victor Wembanyama sweepstakes. Was going to do some generational tanking this season. Obviously, we are in a post Rudy Gobert, post Donovan Mitchell era for the Utah Jazz now. I think they tried to make it work as well as they possibly could. And obviously, the COVID thing kicked it off. Also, I just don't think that they ever, like, you had an all-world defender, and then you had nobody else who could make an all-defensive team. Do you know how bad you have to be defensively to have somebody who can 4 Defensive Player of the Year awards and nobody else on the team can make a single all-defense anything or not even be considered?
Yeah, that's crazy.
You have to be bad. So I think that the Jazz were a team kind of caught in between. I think that they should have been a defensive team, and they saw what Donovan Mitchell did and was like, all right, let's go get more offense. It was like, whoa. The generational talent you have is the defender.
Yeah,
like,
that's what they messed up. But I actually because they beat the Thunder playing defense that year, and then they went offense after that.
It was like, oh yeah, we need Donovan can score 20. We need more offense. Come on, get more offense.
Yeah.
Whoa. Donovan Mitchell is not the generational talent that you have here. I rock with Donovan Mitchell. Yeah, but Rudy Gobert is winning 4-5 Defensive Player of the Year awards. You should be looking at what the Pistons did and be like, let's try this.
Mm-hmm.
But now they're in a post them era. They did get Colin Sexton, but obviously this is the Victor Wembanyama sweepstakes. And basically when are they going to trade Mike Conley, Jordan Clarkson, and every asset that they have on the team?
Malik Beasley.
When are they going to trade all these assets? But I do want to talk about one guy, Colin Sexton. Colin Sexton was a guy who, when he came into the league, I was angry with him because I remember watching Kyrie, and they traded that man for Kyrie. Well, he was a pick that he was the pick. That he was one of the picks that they were the main pick that they got when they traded Kyrie, and he was kind of broadcasting me as a point guard, and I felt like I think he would go games with like I remember I used to tweet the Colin Sexton get more than 2
assist challenge.
Yeah, challenge. Get more than 2 assist challenge. But once I really accepted that his game was really come in, I'm gonna light it up. Like to me, he's like the next Lou Will or like those type of guys. I actually don't think he will. I think his stat line next year will actually look a lot similar to what Donovan Mitchell was doing when he was with the Jazz, as long as Colin Sexton is healthy. And I think that for the Jazz, you just want to see growth from Colin Sexton. I think Jared Vanderbilt is like actually a great piece to
a lot of teams love Jared Vanderbilt. He'd be great. A lot of teams, bro.
Yeah, I think Vanderbilt is actually a good piece for the future. And I think for this team, to me, I think as long as you can see growth out of those two guys, I think growth out of those two guys. Trade everybody and lose a lot of games and try very hard to get Victor Wembanyama. I think that you have had a very successful season if you could do that. Also, they got in the trade they got I can't even pronounce his name. The guy from Kansas that they traded from Cleveland.
The rookie.
Kessel Walker. Kessel
yes.
Walker.
No.
Not Kessel Walker. Oche.
Yeah, OBAJI.
Yeah, Oche.
Yeah, he's like 6'5", 215.
He's the wing.
Ball a little bit.
He's a wing. He plays deep. 3 and deep. He plays defense. He can shoot the 3. Really athletic.
Yeah. So go ahead.
You think Sexton is going to be north of 20? Like north of what? 22 points? He's going to be.
Who's going to shoot the ball?
Bro, he averaged 24. He averaged 24 his last
I mean,
he averaged 24.
He averaged 24 in how many games?
Colin, no. But the last time he played a full season, I think he played like 65 or something like that. Colin was like 24 points, 48% shooting, 40% from three.
Yeah, 24 exactly.
Colin be balling.
24 and 6. That's impressive. All right, I was asleep.
He did efficiently too.
The thing in Cleveland was I just thought that I thought honestly it could have. Once I saw Evan Mobley and Jared Allen back there, and I was like, yo, you got those 2 small guards, but you got trees up top. I was like, well, those guards in the backcourt can actually work. But also, once you saw Darius Garland's elevation kind of happened the same time when Colin Sexton went out, maybe it would have happened regardless, but it did kind of happen the same time Colin Sexton went out. Also, when you can get a deal for a guy like Donovan Mitchell, even from a branding perspective, if you're the Cleveland Cavaliers, you have to take that deal. But I honestly think like if you would have put Colin back on this roster, they probably would have done some of the same damn things that they're going to do this year.
Instead of somebody, or just Adam?
No. I'm saying
Like
if Donovan Mitchell trade.
Like he said, if he had like, if we just did Carlin and Sexton
I
trade,
think they would have done some of the same. The Cavs probably could have done some of the same exact things that I expect them to do this year with Donovan Mitchell, even though I think Donovan Mitchell is a better player and also just a much bigger name. And Cleveland needs a fucking name because they haven't had a name that wasn't LeBron James since LeBron James left. Really, they haven't had too many names outside of LeBron James
and Kyrie.
Kyrie out of the past 30 years for the most part. So it's time to kind of get away from that. So I understand why they did what they did. But yeah, Colin gonna come out. I think Colin might come out here and average 26 points next year, 26, 27 points next year. 26? If he's healthy.
Hey, but did you see so that in the preseason games they have Carl Sexton come off the bench?
I can understand why because
they got Carl Sexton come off the bench. So
I can get why because again, I do think Colin Sexton's probably best role in the future will be as like a little I think that I think that he's a guy who's probably better served like a 6-man. Yo, you come in the game and you only worry about firing this shit up. And also, let's be real about the Jazz. The Jazz are trying to feature some of their guys
so they get traded.
Like, yo, Clarkson, we want this guy. Conley, we want this guy. They're trying to feature some of their guys. That's why they're running their guys out there like that. But what do you all think about the Jazz? What is the definition of success for the Jazz? And is there anybody on the team that you're looking forward to seeing this year on the Jazz?
That's fair. I'm really on the same boat as you, honestly. They got a couple really nice, intriguing young talents. They picked up Horton Tucker. They added Stanley Johnson. Vanderbilt, like you said, defensive wing who was all over the place, dived on the floor for loose balls in the passing lanes, standing people up in the post. They have some very intriguing young talent to watch if you tune into a Jazz game. And they also just have those guys that are probably going to be shipped soon. So we'll see how long Malik Beasley, Mike Conley, Clarkson, how long these guys last on the roster. But obviously, no high expectations for this team. They will be in the Wembanyama sweepstakes. Nicole Alexander Walker from the Pelicans. He's going to come in there. He's going to hoist some shots up. It's going to be a tank fest. It's going to be one of those. They're going to be part of what I like to call the bad teams. AAU circuit. Watch the AAU game. It's very.
That's going to be worse than AAU circuit, bro.
Yeah, it's very similar to the AAU game. It goes 140 to 130.
LA Fitness, Lifetime Fitness.
Lifetime Fitness, man. But those games are very similar to those games, so that's why I call it that. But they have a couple of nice young prospects outside of that. Yeah, they're in the sweepstakes. We'll see if they end up getting them. The Wembanyama, see how hard they go for these tanking. Let's see what they get back. They might even get rid of Vanderbilt for draft pick or so. We'll see how this year goes. Danny Ainge is probably he's very known. He got a haul back he picks for Gobert. He got a decent haul back for Donovan Mitchell as well. He's known for getting rid of guy. He traded Paul Pierce and all those guys to the Brooklyn for that haul of picks that they got to end up being Jaylen Brown and Tatum. He has a history of doing stuff like this, so I'm pretty sure he'll get rid of these guys real soon. Probably get more draft, haul in more and more, and yeah, they'll be probably a bottom 4 team in the West. Probably win about 20-some games.
Oh, they're not winning 20 games.
Or all right, 15 to 20 games, 15 to 20 games, and then pray for the lottery ball.
So my thing with the Jazz, they got to trade their players quick because I think they got some good players. I think so if they're on a roster for like even for a couple months, I think it could take them out to the Victor sweepstakes because they got.
Oh no! All it takes.
You think so?
I can agree with that.
Because
it's one 15-game losing streak, and you right there with the.
No. That'll be the only reason I disagree with that because you got the Spurs who I think will go out the gate just losing. You know, you got a couple teams already going to go out the start the gate.
OKC.
Okay, so you got because some teams they'll like the first month they'll play hard, they'll play first couple months they'll play hard, and then they'll tank. There's gonna be teams they're just gonna start losing. So I think the Jazz should have either trade the players now or
rest them, sit them out.
Like some because you guys, I feel like with them if they really want Victor, they shouldn't start out the season playing those guys. They need to start the season like really tanking because there's gonna be teams really tanking. And like I said, you guys know because I know because we lost out on LeBron James off of one game, so I know from 2003. So I know. So we won the second to last game. So
the only thing I would say is the lottery odds were different back then. Remember, the worst team had a 25% chance of getting number 1 pick. I think they lessened it to it's 18% now, something like that.
Yeah, that's true. I agree with that. I agree, but we could have got a number one pick if we lost one or two more games. That's all I'm saying. But they should just start the gate tanking. That's my opinion with the Jazz.
But I do think they have to feature some of their players though, because I think teams like Clarkson. I think you can get what you go get for Clarkson. I think Conley is a guy you kind of got to feature, because I feel like after like the last couple of postseasons, Conley has been a little bit hurt. I know last year he was a little bit hurt. People might wonder how much does Conley have to even offer. Like how much does how much does Mike Conley have to offer to a winning team that's trying to compete at this point? And also, where are some places that you would like to see some of the Jazz pieces end up?
Someone like Clarkson would be good in Phoenix. I know Suns fans been wanting him.
Clarkson would be very good. Clarkson would be very good in Phoenix.
Phoenix, they need another scorer. So that Clarkson would be really good in Phoenix. They still got a draft pick. They got all their draft picks going forward too. So I think they can make that move. If they want to. Conley's a little bit tough because of that contract.
What's his?
How many more years is left on? Is it one or two?
I think he has this year and next
$22 million.
I think he got this year and next year too. So he got
this year and next year.
I think so, right?
Might want to give him the John Wall treatment. Remember, Rockets just cut him out. They might want to do that.
That's what I think he got.
He is getting. What's his deal right now? Conley. Yeah, he got 2 years left.
Yeah,
and it's not a player option. He just like signed it.
Yeah, so that's Conley's gonna be a little tough on getting, Yo.
Hold on, wait. Mike, shout out Mike Conley. Mike Conley has to be added to the all-time finesse team. Can y'all guess how much? No, look, guess how much Mike Conley has made throughout his NBA career so far.
I'm looking at it right now, $249 million.
Bro, he has to be Mike Conley.
Bro, the Conley's sleeping well. The
Conley needs to teach a class. Mike Conley needs to teach a class. He has to be added to the all-time finesses for making $240 million over the course of his NBA career and making one All-Star appearance.
Especially for Mr. Underrated.
Especially the last contract he signed 2 years ago, bro. They're paying him $30 million, $35 million last season. I mean,
I'm looking. I don't know.
But he's tough to kind of figure out where to go because of that contract. I mean, I just don't know what contenders are taking or have money to take that contract on right now. So there's no contenders have money. Like, and then I
don't know where he could.
If you trade for him, you got to obviously give up important assets to even make the contract work. So.
Yeah, I'm looking for him. I don't know where yet. Conley might be stuck. Clarkson, like I said, Clarkson will probably be out. Maybe a team might want Kelly Olynyk. Kelly Olynyk might, end up being out of there.
I think a few teams would like Malik Beasley too. I think he'll fit a few teams. Malik he can shoot.
I think if they get so thirsty, they might ship out Vanderbilt. Let's say the Pelicans start off good and they want to upgrade their defense. You might be able to get a first-round pick for Jared Vanderbilt, as valuable as he is in today's NBA. I mean, the Pelicans that would help them a lot. Maybe the Mavericks could really use a guy like a Mavericks could even use Malik Beasley, another offensive option to take some pressure off Luka. There's a couple of these guys that are really they can really help a lot of teams. Memphis might want a Vanderbilt. The list kind of goes on and on. Sac might want some more scoring. They can pick up on Malik Beasley. Detroit maybe.
Denver might want to get Vanderbilt.
Yeah,
Vanderbilt would be good in Portland.
Vanderbilt will be good at Portland. Actually, speaking of Portland, let's actually move on to the Portland Trailblazers. The Portland Trailblazers have a slightly upgraded overhauled roster. Obviously, Dame coming back off injury. He had a abdominal injury last year. They drafted Shaedon Sharpe, who I really like. They gave Anthony Simons a new deal. Obviously, Josh Hart is there from the CJ trade last year. Jeremy Grant is there. What do we think about the Portland Trailblazers? What do we think their potential is? Is this a playoff team? Bash, you go first.
I think they're going to be in that like the 9th to 10th range, bro. My thing with Portland, I think it's just the same. I mean, they obviously got Jeremy Grant. He's another squad option, but even the Portland Trailblazers team that went to Western Finals, they had CJ and Dame was their backcourt. Their backcourt now is going to be Dame and Anthony. Anthony's not better than CJ than me, so. I think that's just redundant at that part because
you think he can be though? Is he not capable? You don't think
he can be? He's definitely, but right now, no. Like I'm saying,
but the issue with that is still defense, though.
that's what I'm saying, and that was the whole problem.
You can't guard nobody.
That's why you come out and you announce. That's why you start Josh Hart at the 3. That's why you pick up Gary Payton 2. That's why you get a Jeremy Grant. Y'all talking about get this masterclass on Kawhi, but Gary Payton 2 is going to help him tremendously.
That's what I was going at, because I'm like, if you started emphasizing that backcourt, it's the same problem they've been having the last few years. Is their backcourt can't guard guards, you know? They can't guard nobody. So just I'm not as high. I do love Charles Bills as a coach, though. He's a hell of a coach. I think with him like he can coach that team, and if anything, but I think they're gonna be from anywhere from that 8 to 10 seed, bro. Like I think so, and plus if you look at the West, who are they better than? Who are they better than?
There's nobody they're really definitively better than outside of the playing teams. You know,
that's what I'm saying. Like
the smaller side, yeah.
Like are they gonna be better than the Kings, bro? Do you think they're gonna be better than the Kings?
I think that depends on what Dame Lillard.
It'll be close, man. If Dame come out taking 34 games, then we could probably have this conversation. He might have to go out there and get 33, 34 a night.
I think it depends on what Dame Lillard we get. Obviously, Dame Lillard is how old now?
32.
32 years old. 32. The sad part about being 32 years old and being a point guard is the 30s are not kind to you.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes point guards hit that 30-something range and it ain't the same no more. So the 30s are not kind to you, and he's coming off an injury. I think it really depends on what Dame Lillard. Like, are we gonna get the Dame from 2 years ago, or are we gonna get the Dame, or are we gonna get a lesser version of that Dame? I think if we get the Dame for 2 years ago, I think they could be maybe 6th, maybe 7th.
But who are they gonna be over though? That's my question.
I think they can maybe over the Mavericks, maybe the Lakers. And this is like if everything hits the right way, like if Jeremy Grant can continue to do what he's done the past couple of years. Shaedon Sharpe, I think Shaedon Sharpe is a wild card. I think Shaedon Sharpe is a guy. Go ahead.
They're actually high on him too.
I'm high on him. I mean, like I think that he's a guy that because he went to college but didn't play. I think if he goes to college and plays, like he's a guy that might have got picked top 3. But the fact that he did not play is the reason why he failed the way he failed. So I mean, he looks like a guy who's a bona fide scorer, and he's also a guard that's not 6'2". I think a lot of things, even more outside of just the fact of they didn't have a good defensive backcourt, but that their backcourt was so small. Like you had 2 guys who were both like under 6'3" in your backcourt that probably both could have been playing point guard. So when you look at them versus any backcourt, like again, you play like let's say you play against the Warriors, Steph, CJ height,
yeah,
Klay 6'7".
Mm-hmm.
Like you have pretty much the smallest backcourt against everybody you're probably going to play against. Now, granted, yes, you did add some wings, and also I think that now Anthony Simons is interesting because I think Anthony Simons can ball, and you just paid Anthony Simons, so I think they're probably going to start him just because of the fact you just paid him $150 million. Who's getting paid $150 come off the bench? So you're probably going to start him. But if I was the person, I would go Dame Lillard, GP2, Josh Hart, Jeremy Grant,
and then Nurkic.
That's what I would personally do. Or if you want to go big as shit, start Dame,
Josh Hart, Grant, and then
Little and Grant, Little and Grant, and then Nurk. So, but I do respect I do respect the attempt to at least, like, again, we've been saying Portland needs a wing for at least a decade. I do since Nick Batum left, they've been needing a wing. So I do at least respect the attempt to try to build something a little bit different with that roster. Like I think if you had Jeremy Grant there, when you had CJ and Seth Curry there, I think this might be a different basketball team. But the issue then was you had Jeremy Grant. I mean, not Jeremy Grant. You had Norman Powell, Dame Lillard, and you had CJ. Bro, all them under 6'5". Every single last one of them was under 6'5". Norman Powell should be in your backcourt. Now you got him playing wing. So, but yeah, I mean, I think win percentage is maybe 44, 45, unless, Dame could come out in between 42 to 45, unless Dame could come out there and have a all world type season. And then, yeah, Joe, did you speak about the Timberwolves?
I haven't spoken about them. I'll speak real quick. The Timberwolves, I mean, the Trailblazers should be solid. I don't think Dame will regress too much this year just because of where his game starts at. You got to guard him from half court. And he's 32. When you got to be guarded from half court, that respect is different. You got a lot of space. So even if he is older, he still should be able to operate pretty easily. He has to be respected as soon as he crosses that line. So I don't think him regressing athletically will really affect him too much this year. So I expect him to have another huge year. I really, really, really like the Josh Hart pickup, and they just announced that they're going to definitely start him at the 3. Yeah. In like 14 games last year when they were pretty much thinking he averaged 19, 5, and 4 on like 60% true shooting. He can really play. He a heck of a 3-point shooter. I think he's like 37% from 3, and he's also like 60 or something, very high percent at the rim. He's a great transition finisher. He can get to the rim. He's more than just a spot up guy. I like what they did. I really love the Jeremy Grant pickup and the Gary Payne 2 pickups. They still got Nurkic at the 5. I think I said Shaedon Sharpe is a wild card. We'll see what he can do. But I think they should be solid. They're going to be battling for that playing spot, but I won't sleep on them at all. I expect another All-Star year from Damian Lillard. I don't expect him because of where he starts his game at. But like pretty much what y'all said, they're not going to be too great, but they'll be a team that you can't go into. Like Portland is always a tough place to play in. Growing up as a Laker fan, we always hated go. They always called us slipping multiple times. They have lit the Lakers up there, lit everybody up in their home arena, one of the best home crowds out there in Portland. You've been there, right? Once, right?
Yeah, I've been. I love the arena. It's like they go there to drink beer and also watch basketball.
Yeah, and they also cheer like a mug. They're not quiet. They will let you know. Oh, that's fire. But yeah, Portland, I expect them to be one of those teams that can punch a lot of teams in the mouth this year. Nobody can see Portland on their schedule and just expect the easy win. They will go at you. They got the talent, like Bashir said. Chauncey Billups has done a really good job coaching that team so far. We'll see where they can go with it. But yeah, that's pretty much it. They made the proper upgrades to their defense. Obviously, everybody knows their defense, like you guys said, has not been great. Even those years when they were competing to get into the Western Conference Finals, battling with Steph and the Warriors and those guys, battling with the Pelicans and whatnot. The defense was pretty much a big issue. They finally made some steps in the improving that. So shout out to them. We'll see where it takes them this year. But Portland, yeah, they'll be, I'll say probably like, 8th, somewhere between 8th, 9th, or 10th with about 44 to like 40 wins, somewhere like that for the Portland Trail Blazers next season.
Respectable. We can leave it at that. And another team that's in the WNBA sweepstakes. Oh my God, the Oklahoma City Thunder. Obviously, Chet Holmgren decided that he wanted to try to be fucking Ben Wallace. Ben Wallace in a fucking throwaway game.
Why you kind of block LeBron, bro?
Like, bro, you're not like what are you doing?
LeBron didn't miss the layup.
Let LeBron win me on the dunk, bro. That's what they fans came and see. Let LeBron win me on, bro. That, bro, you gotta let LeBron.
He blocked it because Braun was not trying that hard. Yeah, he's like, bro, this is the summer. I'm not gonna do this.
Man, if Chet wasn't one of the bums, he would have got put in the rim. But Chet wasn't
trying that hard.
Supposed to be one hell of a rim protector this year. But yeah, sad for my man Chet. That was my rookie year.
OKC. Obviously, okay. First of all, over or under 15 games? Are they winning over or under 15 games?
I'm gonna go over.
I'm gonna go over.
But you know how hard it is to win under 20, to lose under to win under 20 games. It's very hard. I know, but it's still hard to lose under 20.
How hard they gonna try?
It is still hard to win under 20 games.
If Shai Gilgeous-Alexander had the injury LaMelo had right now, they would literally suggest surgery.
Oh no, like I said, they already started because he's gonna be out. He's gonna be out like first couple weeks.
He is out the first couple of weeks. Why is he out? Ankle, right? Sprained ankle, right?
Yeah, foot or ankle, something like that.
Yeah, okay. That's gonna turn into surgery. It's gonna turn into surgery down the line. Surgery.
But with the thing, okay, see, the reason I said over because they still got some young talent on that team that plays hard, so they will catch teams lacking. Like they're not gonna
smoke the Lakers twice last year.
Oh no, the Nuggets, they beat the Nuggets twice last year. For some reason, the Nuggets don't match up well with them, but they beat the Nuggets twice because they play hard and they're tall, they're long. I mean, you got Josh Giddey, you got that Jalen Williams kid is nice. I love
Jalen Williams.
I was watching the preseason game. That dude is nice, bro.
Like, I love Jalen.
He's gonna be powerful. Him, Jang is still a project, but he showed he can play. They got young talent on that team that'll play hard. So I think they'll catch teams slipping, and then obviously if Shai comes back, Shai's gonna be really good. Shai, what Shai has
a sprained MCL. He had a sprained MCL.
So it's his knee. So yeah. So he'll probably be back. Within a month. But if he comes back, I mean they'll catch teams like, and Shai can go for 30, 40 points a game, bro. So they'll catch teams like. I think they'll be over 20 wins, bro. To be honest with you.
Nah, realistically, they'll probably be. I mean, look, they even have a guy like Trey, man. I mean, like Trey. They have guys who are still trying to prove themselves. Like they're not like a desolate team. Like yes, they're young, they're gonna lose, I guess, but they have guys who are young and trying to prove themselves, and they don't care about getting a draft pick. Like the management cares about getting a draft pick. They don't care about getting a draft pick. That management's gonna make it very hard for them, hard for them not to get a draft pick. But also, OKC has so many picks over the next couple of years, where it's like, bro, if you can't get some franchise guy with all the draft picks you got, you just can't draft. And OKC throughout the years has shown the ability to be able to find really good players. They consistently always find good players. But again, this is another team to me where I just think you want to see improvement from you guys. Like you said, Jalen Williams, you want to see what you have with him. Josh Giddey, you want to see what the next step for Josh Giddey looks like. Do we have any NBA comparisons for Josh Giddey? Is there anybody that you've seen in NBA history that you think Josh Giddey could like model his game after?
Shit.
How you feel about Andre Miller?
I was literally thinking Andre Miller. All of us were thinking Andre. I was literally thinking Andre Miller. I was shout out. I was literally
that was our guy. Remember?
My mind was Andre.
Bro, you know that was our guy. I'm a huge Andre Miller fan.
Literally the first person that I was thinking in my mind was Andre Miller.
Me too.
That's the first. So like, dude, like, can he be a guy like this? Darius Bazley. What is Darius Bazley like? Like does his progression continue to grow? So for me, Lou Dort, who I think is one of the best defenders in the NBA. I think Lou Dort is one of the best on-ball defenders in the league, in my personal opinion.
And they had to shut him down last year because he was playing too hard, bro. They shut him down last year because he played too hard.
So like, nah, bro, what you doing? Sit down, G. You hurt. Your back hurt. Sit down. Your back hurt.
Huge leak. Y'all remember in the bubble, they was literally letting him shoot. You do that shit now, you might torture us for 30.
Facts.
No, for real.
Offense from Lucius Dort's game. He got paid for it as well. He's on like a $90 million.
He shot 38% from 3 last year.
But yeah, Lou Dort is
fired.
Lou Dort is fired.
Crazy.
He's not working, and we'll see. Maybe not this year, but he could maybe one day get a max contract. He keeps the production he gets. Maybe one day somewhere around the 150 range. He's at 80 million now. He can really upgrade from that. If he keeps working on his game and bringing what he brings, as valuable as what he does is, he could for sure one day get a 150 at least contract one day.
Yeah, so I think, obviously they're gonna be bad. I'm not cutting on the Thunder game this season. I probably will not watch. The only way I might watch them is because Jalen Williams is on my fantasy team. Because
I'm actually intrigued by that guy.
Yes, I was watching the thing that intrigues me about him is that he didn't go to a big time school. I always like prospects who didn't go to big time school because I feel like they know what it's like to be the guy from like day one. Like obviously. Go ahead.
I watched a lot of his film because he was in the Nuggets range.
The Nuggets, in
the beginning of the season, he was in Nuggets range, and then he just kept getting his stock kept rising and rising. I'm like, damn, they know about this kid.
Closer to because even like 2 weeks before the draft, he was in Nuggets range, and then like close to the draft time, it'd be like he might be in the lottery.
Yeah.
Cole, all right, what's up, bro? I see you. We can see you. I know the Mike Conley on the Bulls thing. I feel you. I don't think that's gonna make the Bulls.
I don't know. Mike Conley do.
Sure, Mike Conley on the Bulls, great. Yeah, facts. Shout out to you, bro. Appreciate you. But yeah, no, Jalen. That might be the only reason I watch a game this year, is to just see what Jalen Williams is and see how he can be, and that might be the only reason I watch the game. But yeah, I think maybe like 15 to 22 wins. They're gonna be terrible. But again, another one. This is low key a terrible division, by the way. Actually, this is not that good of a division.
Yeah, it used to be good. It used to be good when it was the KD Thunder. That's the last time it was like really, really good. The KD Thunder with Portland was so all right. Denver was good. So it was just like that was the last time.
Last but not least of this division, we have the Minnesota Timberwolves, which I think are one of the most intriguing teams in the NBA right now. Obviously, they added I think 3 or 4 time defense player of the year, Rudy Gobert. I think one of the main issues that they had was interior defense. They ain't gonna have an interior defense issue no more this year.
Nope, not at all.
Anthony Edwards is coming into his 3rd year. We expect him to take a leap. Cat has said, did he say he one of the best offensive players of all time?
Yeah, he did say that.
Cat has said he one of the best offensive players of all time.
Yeah, he said everybody disrespected him. He said he's one of the best offensive players of all time.
Boy.
Hey man, let's see. Hey man, let's see if he got some shit to show us. I have no idea. So Cat say he one of the best offensive players of all time. Let's see if he come out here. I don't know, turning the Dirk Nowitzki. They turn Dirk Nowitzki. They still have to me it sucks that they had to give up Jared Vanderbilt, but they still have Jalen McDaniels. They have. I didn't know Austin Rivers was on the team until recently, but they have Austin Rivers. They still have Nas Reed. They have Jalen Norrell. So they have Brent Forbes now. D'Lo obviously is still there. What do we think about this Minnesota Timberwolves team? How far do we think they can go? How many wins do you think they will pick up? And who do you think is the most important player for this team? Joe, you go first.
Cool, I'll go first. Just to pretty much back up what you said, Pavi, about how they had interior defensive issues last year. That is very true. Last year, the Wolves ranked 29th in defensive rebounding. They were bottom 10 in rim field goal percentage attempts. And they were also 29th in free throw rate. They bring in Rudy Gobert. That pretty much offsets all of those three things, and they become pretty much the opposite of like 29th, probably top 10. Also, Minnesota, like you said, Cat coming to his third year, and I think that was Rudy Gobert going to do that on defense. I think on offense, he pushes Cat right to where he wants to be. Sure. Cat shoots the hell out of the ball, and he shoots about 8 threes a game. That pushes him right where he needs to be on the 3-point line. You get wings. You got Anthony Edwards on the wings. I think this year also, we'll see what D'Angelo Russell is about this year. It's like contract year for him. I think a lot of times last year he'd come through in the clutch sometimes and he'd do his little ice in the bank celebration. But when that wasn't happening, we also saw him get benched sometimes for the guard? What's his name? Jordan Laughlin. Yeah, he get benched sometimes in the clutch because he's not making the right plays. He's not staying in front of his man. He's throwing the ball away. He's shooting stupid 30-footers, doing things like that. We'll see if he can come. His playmaking, they're going to rely on his playmaking a lot this year. He's one of the main guys on that team who can distribute the ball. We'll see what he can do if he can get Gobert the ball in the right places. He can get because, like you said, you always constantly complained about how Utah couldn't get Gobert the ball at all, even when he was wide open at times, or even when he had his man sealed off. They still didn't give him the ball. D'Angelo Russell has to make it a point for him, not really to score the basketball, but to make sure Cat, Edwards, and Gobert can get the looks that they need to keep the offense going, because they have the talent to be one of the better offensive teams and one of the better defensive teams, unlike the Jazz where Rudy Gobert is coming from. So it's going to rely on those guys. How good will Anthony Edwards be this year? Does Jalen McDaniels take a leap next season, kind of fill in the role that Jared Vanderbilt had for them last year, which is I think, like we all agree, he's a pretty big hole. He's a heck of a young player, only 23, but he's all over the place. We'll see what these wings can do. They picked up Kyle Anderson, obviously a guy who played in some big games for Slow Mo out of UCLA. Played huge for the Grizzlies. We'll see what he can do. He can come in and take some playmaking duties off of D'Angelo Russell when he's not in the game. They still have Nas Reed, hell of a backup. I've seen him.
I'll never forgive him for making me lose my fantasy matchup when he played the Lakers.
He was all crazy.
Never forgive him.
They do still have Nas Reed, but you see, what we're seeing is a really, really solid roster. I think they should have very high expectations. They filled pretty much all the holes. Like Gobert fills everything that they were missing last year. We'll see. They picked up your guy Batch, PJ Dozier. I'm not sure how much it would be in the rotation.
I was so pissed off, bro. But
that's another guy who come in and take some pressure off D'Angelo Russell, because he's going to be a lot of pressure on him. I think he's going to be one of the main guys. I think you can. Because the play going to start with him. If he can get guys in the right place, and he can get guys looking in rhythm, and he isn't hoisting up shots deep, and he isn't out there playing numb-nut basketball like Thomas TPJ like to say. This team can be really, really, really good if he can earn his next contract and not play for himself. Also picked up Eric Pascal, kind of was a go forward going towards the rim. He can finish at the rim, and he can make plays for himself. He doesn't really need anybody to create from him. He's a great heck of a slasher, can knock down the mid-range, and just a good young prospect that we saw a lot when he was on the floor for the Warriors. Like you said, Austin Rivers, a veteran guard. He can also take more pressure off D'Angelo Russell. If he starts tweaking, he can come in and get you 8 points, knock down a 3, make the right plays, finish at the rim, do a couple things for you in that way. But we should see this team should have at least 2 All-Stars next year, maybe 3 if everything goes right. I think pretty much I say Towns is locked for All-Star game, and then either between Edwards or Gobert, whoever can whoever can impact the game more would probably take the All-Star slot out of those. But if everything goes right and they are top 2, top 3, they can have 3 All-Stars. So this team is not a team you want to sleep on at all, NBA fans. They put them into your league pass. I'm really intrigued to see how this all works out. The Gobert trade out top 3, top 2 move of entire offseason. I had a lot of people talking. It's going to be very interesting to see how this works out. Also, stemmed the 2K season, and the Timberwolves somehow won the championship. They also picked up Brian Forbes, the sniper from the Spurs. But yeah, this is an interesting team. One team I'll definitely be tuning in to see how this all plays out. But yeah, shout out to the Timberwolves. They should be neck and neck with the Nuggets for best team in this division. Those two teams are playoff locks. Everybody else is very iffy. I say they get about, for them 50 to 55 wins, top 6, top 5 seeds if everything goes as it should. And a lot of good basketball from this team because they should be. I expect them to be a top 10 offense and a top 10 defense. If Gobert comes in the bench, Gobert and D'Angelo Russell is not tweaking on offense. He's getting everybody involved and getting everybody shots in rhythm. Yeah, that's it.
Touch.
I think the most important player for me, in my opinion, on that Timberwolves roster is going to be Anthony Edwards for me. Remember, I don't know if you guys remember when he was doing that playoff series against the Grizzlies. He took it up a notch. He took it up a notch. If you get that Anthony Edwards, even better. If you get that Anthony Edwards, this Timberwolves team is gonna be good. I watched a lot of Timberwolves games last season, so their starting five had Vanderbilt at the 5, and Cat was pretty much the 4 on that team. So they pretty much did this. They pretty much is gonna have the same system and same everything, but you're replacing Vanderbilt with Gobert instead of having Vanderbilt, because Cat was guarding Forbes last year, and Forbes was guarding Cat last year. And then Vanderbilt was guarding 5, and he was that interior presence for the Timberwolves. But now you add Gobert, that improves the interior defense tremendously. And obviously they picked up Kyle Anderson. That was a great pickup for them. They're one of the biggest spots that they made was that Gobert trade, but was also the GM. They got Tim Conley from us, so the GM and he was the one that pulled out that trade. So with Gobert, he got hired on it, and next week he pulled out the Gobert trade. So he's one of the best GMs. So he has vision, and I think that they're gonna be a tough out for a playoff team. I think they'll be getting ready, but they're gonna be a tough out in the playoffs. And some people argue they should have won against the Grizzlies. They were up.
They should have won against the Grizzlies. They lost. They were leads in the same game. That should never happen.
There was games that were up double digits that they lost. So, and they did a good job of defending Ja. They did a good job. So they're gonna be a playoff matchup nightmare for teams. I think they'll match up well with some teams. I have them a top 4 seed in the NBA in the West Conference next season.
Yeah, same. I think they'll be a top 4 seed in the West. I think it's a very interesting team. Like, I think they could get to the conference finals depending on matchup. I think they could lose. It's just like depending for me who they play. And also, what is Anthony Edwards? Like, what are you? Like, again, like I thought when he got drafted, I said that he was Isaiah Ryder gone right.
You said, wait, Isaiah Ryder?
Isaiah Ryder gone right. You don't know who Isaiah Ryder is? Hold on, no, brother. Don't do that. Isaiah Ryder could ball. He just had other troubles off the court that led him to whatever. But I said he was Isaiah Ryder going right. But is he a superstar, or is he just like a really good player? Is he just like, a guy who's going to come in there and get you 25, 26 points, and he's a scorer, or like is he literally a superstar? So what is he? Like, I still don't know what Anthony Edwards is. I don't know what Cat is either. I don't know what Cat. I don't know. Like the only person who I know. The only person who I know what they are is Rudy Gobert. I know that Rudy Gobert is a dominant defender, but also one of the things that I thought I had to that concerned me about Cat was I didn't know if you could build a team around Cat because I didn't think Cat did anything dominantly enough.
2-3?
Yeah.
That's probably he's probably the best center.
He can score.
But is he dominant from there though?
Can't finish out the rim. I mean,
I used the word dominant
from the 3-point line. Yes, for the
dominant. Is he dominant?
Isn't he a top 5, top 10 shooter in the league based on numbers? And that's and then in today's NBA, that's like gold.
One thing about he did have what? Did he have like a 60-point game last season?
Pretty sure he did.
He had a 50-point game last season. There was points times last season.
But Cat did have a 60-point game last season.
I mean, a lot of guys, people get hot. It is what it is. It happens. We didn't see Andre Miller had a 50-point game.
Andre did have a 50-point game.
Hey, Andre Miller's nice though.
I think Mo Williams holds the Timberwolves all-time scoring record. Actually, no, Cat might have broke it, but I think Mo Williams and Corey Brewer held the Timberwolves all-time scoring record before Cat broke it. But no, I think this is a very, very interesting and a very intriguing roster. But I love the trade. I love them just going for it. Like you think about Minnesota, like I remember growing up, Minnesota was always. I mean, obviously they had Kevin Garnett, and they were like they could never outside of that 1 year when they went to conference finals. They could never.
I saw that 1 year. Yeah.
But they were still at least a good basketball team that made the playoffs. Like, bro, they made the playoffs, I think, last time in 2005 and didn't make it back until 2018. Yeah. So I think for the Timberwolves, success is defined by continuous playoff runs. Like, as long as you can make the playoffs every year and just build a culture of winning basketball in Minnesota, I think that you have been successful. I think getting Rudy Gobert and putting it with this team, and granted, you might say his contract, whatever, but this is still a young team. Like, even when he's doing this, these other guys will still be doing this. You think that if he gets older, he could at least be Mutombo. I mean, Mutombo, when he was older, he won Defensive Player of the Year in 2001, and he was like 34 years old. Then he went.
I was about to ask you that. I was like, how do you feel about the timeline with him? Because Edwards is 22 and Gobert is what? 31, 32?
I think he's like 30 right now.
Gobert?
Yeah, I think he's like 30.
Yeah. So I was like, the timeline with Anthony Edwards and Gobert don't really match up.
Yeah, Gobert's 30 years old. He just turned 30. But I think it does. I mean, obviously, like Anthony Edwards, he has about 5 more years before he could probably leave. Because you got to think 5 more years. Rudy Gobert on his deal, he has how many years left is on his deal?
I think 3 or 4.
His deal, after this year, it's 3 years left. And he has a player option for $46 million in 23-25. He'll be basically 33 years old. I think that Rudy Gobert can get you at least 3 seasons of great rim protection. If Brook Lopez can also shoot the 3, but Brook Lopez still offers really good rim protection. If Brook Lopez can offer really good rim protection at his age, I think Rudy Gobert can still offer good rim protection, barring injury at 33 years old. And also with Anthony Edwards, he can defend. It's not like he's not a defender. He's going to let people walk by him. He can guard people.
He can defend. When he first came out, Timberwolves, his second season, Timberwolves fans were saying that he didn't get better from the previous year, but I was like, he did get better because he can defend now. He didn't show this last year. Like, obviously his points stayed the same, but defending, he got better at defending, got better at awareness. So he does get better every year.
So now you put Rudy on a team where Jaden McDaniels can guard. You have other guys. I mean, even like D'Lo was good with team defense last year. Like, granted, he wasn't. Obviously, he's not gonna stop nobody one-on-one, but at least it seemed like he had some idea of where he should be on the court. So you put him with these guys who, and again, last year, like Rudy, like I said, Rudy was winning Defensive Player of the Year every single year. You didn't have a single other person on the team who came close to making the all-defensive team. Do you know how bad of a defenders, their whole literal scheme was shade him to Rudy, fuck it, Rudy back there. That's their whole defensive scheme. Yeah. At least you have people now who will take some pride in what they're doing before you get to me. So I think Rudy might even have a better defensive season last year than what he even had some of the years in Utah.
I agree with that because you got Jaden McDaniels who's gonna guard the best player, and then like you said, Anthony Everton guard.
Because now you have people who get legit offers before, like at least like again, even people talking about Rudy gets played out the 4. No, he's getting broken down every time. Then you want me to help and get back to the corner, bro? I can't do everything, dog. I'm like, again, I'm still 7'2". I can't go here, help you, then run out to the corner. At the very least, you got people who can offer some resistance to others than what you had in Utah the previous year. So I think that this team is just very, very interesting. I think that I still worry about them playing fucking stupid because that Grizzlies Timberwolves series was some of the dumbest fucking basketball I have ever seen.
It was like watching the NCAA tournament, bro. That was like 2 weeks before, and I was like, it was like watching that, bro. To be honest with you, but that was more entertaining. But it was like watching that. I'm like, what are you guys doing? Patrick Beverly was doing ISOs, bro. He was doing ISOs.
Gee, they had Pat Bev ISO at the end of games.
Yeah, what are they doing?
So my actual one of my concerns for this basketball team is playmaking. I actually have, when I look at this team, who is the point?
He got to really come to.
I don't know.
He has to be there.
I don't know if D'Lo is the point guard for this team.
Who the point guard then? Oh, you talking about? Like,
I don't know if they have a. I don't know if this team has.
Tim Conley was looking to move. He was looking to move D'Lo. So I don't know. I don't know if D'Lo. I mean, do you think D'Lo? They might like a trade deadline item.
I think D'Lo is expendable. I mean, let me look at his
because he was looking. They were looking to trade him, and
they got to find another guard to replace him.
Mm-hmm. They were looking to trade him.
Deal. This is the last year of D'Angelo Russell's deal. So when you look at D'Angelo Russell, yeah, he's getting $31 million, but this is a expiring deal. So and like I just worry about D'Lo's. Is he the point guard that this team needs? Because I also think for him to take, for Anthony Edwards and for some of those other guys to take a step up, he might have to take a step back.
And D'Lo was part of the corporate last year too, because he wasn't when in the clutch. He wasn't getting them in steps or nothing when he had the ball. He wasn't doing none of that. He wasn't.
Bro, they lost 2 20-point leads.
He wasn't leading. He wasn't directing. He wasn't doing none of that. So he was a corporate.
Had Pat Bev running point guard, damn near more than D'Lo was running point guard last year. So technically, they traded their point guard. They traded their point guard. Technically, D'Lo wasn't really like. Actually, let me look at his actual. Where was he actually slated to play on the court?
He only had one good game, bro.
He was literally losing minutes to Jordan McLaughlin, like I mentioned earlier. Like he was not.
He only had 1 or 2 good games, bro.
Over the past couple of years, 2020, 2021, it's estimated he played 51% of his possessions at point guard, 49% at shooting guard. Last year, it's estimated he played 55% of his possessions at point guard, 45% of his possessions at shooting guard.
He has a tendency to hijack the offense sometimes.
So it's not. So point being is like he's not your. I don't know if he's your full-time point guard, and if he's not your full-time point guard, who is?
It'll be tough to win in the playoffs if he's going to be there.
I don't know if there's really a point guard on the market you could just replace him with that's going to come out and play make for you. I'm not sure how to go about this.
Like for instance, one of the reasons why I think the Grizzlies can win without Ja Morant is because Tyus Jones is one of the best backup point guards in the NBA. He has one of the best assist turnover ratios. Like, is he going to win you a game?
Him and Monte Morris.
That's fair. Like, is he going to win you a game? Probably not. But he's not going to lose the game for you either. The main thing you want from a backup point guard is a guy to come in the game, and if I gave you an 8-point lead when my starter come back in, please let it still be 8, or let it have only went down to 6. Don't let me get my starter back in the game and we down 4.
One thing about this year too, since you got the Victor sweepstakes, I think teams are going to be selling guys early too. So I think you'll be able to get maybe someone cheaper than what you would probably get normally. For the Timberwolves, you can get a floor general, or you can get a leader, or you can get a point guard, whoever it is you need. You might be able to get that early, like not even a trade, like maybe December-ish. Get that early, and kind of compete that way. So
yeah, that's fair. That's my only that's my one concern for the Timberwolves is because again, like they some of the basketball they played in that was some of the worst basketball I've ever seen played in pivotal moments. How do you lose 2 20-point leads in one game? You know how hard that is to do? You know how hard that is to do? So again, that's my only worry with the Timberwolves, but we can leave it at that. That has been our Northwest Division preview. I want to thank all y'all for watching another episode of Hoops and Brews Batch. Thank you for coming on, my brother.
Thank you guys for having me. It was fun, man.
Of course, man. Best of wishes to your Denver Nuggets this season. I hope we get to see a healthy Nugget squad, and I hope they go as far as they possibly can.
Hey, I'm hoping for that too, but we got expectations. So this is the year.
my dog.
Real quick, you two need to really meet in real life because y'all got a lot in common. I'm not gonna hold you.
You said what?
Y'all got to meet in real life next time you're in the city, Batch.
Next time you're in the city, let me know. We like you.
In the city, I'm making sure that
I see y'all was lit last weekend, man. I was like, damn.
Y'all gotta meet. Y'all gotta meet in real life. Y'all two very.
We did a little, not too much.
Not too much.
Just a little, not too much, just a little. But all right, man. Thank you for coming on, brother.
All right, bro. Y'all be easy, man.
Oh shit, I'm wrong. Joe, man, get your plug in, my brother.
Oh, it was good. Thank y'all for tuning in. Get me on Twitter at the Joes with 2 S's, on Instagram, Joe R. Wilson. We out. Thank y'all for tuning in. Northwest Division preview was very fun with my dogs, Bashir and Pabby. Shout out to y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in.
My G. And as always, man, follow me on Twitter at Pappy Word, PAVY Word, all one word. Like I said, I got a new record dropping tonight in 2 hours called Everything to Me. Make sure y'all look out for that. And yeah, we got Mo and Mo and Mo and Mo and Mo stuff on the way. So shout out all y'all for rocking with us. And until next time, it's been Hoops and Brews.